What's up, guys? Josh Pro is back
What's going on
again.
YouTube?
Back here for week number 3, I guess it would be, for Reviews of the Dead this week. And today we're going to talk about a personal. Today we're going to talk about a personal favorite slasher of both of ours. No spoilers here.
Sleepaway Camp.
It's not Sleepaway Camp, I tell you, or Friday the 13th.
Which one is it?
Sleepaway Camp. But we got the box set here, Anchor Bay release. Not the cool Red Cross cover because that was recalled due to Red Cross people. It looks too much like our logo.
Weird. What does it matter?
Throw that down there. Today here we got, excuse me, Sleepaway Camp, 1983. This movie came out in November 1983. Was made for, was it $250,000? I think was what we were reading earlier.
Something like that. 250 or 350.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
250,000, I think, and it was a college student that I guess wrote and directed, or written and directed by
We're not very good
Robert
with tenses.
Hiltz. I guess that's how you say his name. But yeah, like I said, this came out in November. Hit the 83 theaters, I think, across the
83 or 85.
yeah 85 or 83 theaters across the nation, or New York. We don't
Around
know.
the Big Apple, Either way.
Did this get a New York release, you think?
Let's say around New York, so we don't know for sure.
But beat out Amityville 3D, little knowledge
3D.
there for you. And some Barbara Streisand directed movie also. So this was number 1 for that weekend. Little knowledge for your brain there. And that's about it. It stars Felissa Rose. I think that's how you say her name.
She's a hottie now.
Oh yeah, Felissa Rose. We want to give you the tribute.
Oh.
Felissa Rose to you.
Showing.
Nowadays, not when she was 12 or 13.
Either way, we do like the baldies.
Yeah. Not to give anything away about the ending, but we like them like that.
That's true.
But yeah, directed by Robert Hiltz. Also stars Jonathan Tiersten. That's the guy that plays Ricky, her cousin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Christopher Collette and Karen Fields, which I think Karen Fields could have been Judy, I'm thinking. Angela's arch enemy.
True. The snob.
But that's a little knowledge about that. I'm going to turn it over to my boy J-Dub here, and he's going to give you guys a
synopsis.
rundown of the movie.
I'm just going to kind of start from the beginning here. It opens up on the lake, and you see a big hairy-chested dad.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a beaver on his chest.
It's really bad until it's like, I don't know, I guess you wouldn't say 70s, but early 80s.
Yeah, we got a friend that looks like that, Anthony.
Antoine, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, it starts out, and they're, kind of swimming around the lake, and they're on this little boat. And then there's this big accident where this girl that's driving the boat, I guess she's pulling somebody skiing.
Yeah, like the person's back there, and she's like, oh, giving them a thumbs up and stuff. And
she's like whining. She doesn't want to ski, does she?
Well, the skier back there is like, watch out, or whatever. The girl turns around and ramps right over the dad's face.
Like crushes his head. And then she's like, somebody help!
Yeah, and little kids are swimming around there also, and you don't really know what happens to them. He has a boy and a girl. I think they were twins, maybe. Or maybe not.
Well, they look around the same age.
Yeah.
But then after that, it opens up into the humble abode of Aunt Martha and then Cousin Ricky. That's the cousin's name, right?
Yeah, Ricky, yeah.
So it opens up on them, and then the Aunt Martha's the character I just really hate in the movie. Like,
Yeah,
that's the one thing I can remember her voice.
She's really weirdo, She's like, that won't do it all. And
No, that won't do it all.
Just really weird, really strange character.
No, I'm afraid that wouldn't do.
So, yeah, and it opens up talking about them going to camp, and she gives them both their physicals.
Oh, yeah, their papers that she signed.
Don't tell anybody where you got those.
Foreshadowing for the end. Also, just want to give a spoiler alert right now.
Yeah, don't watch the rest of this video if you've not watched Sleepaway Camp.
If anybody's not seen Sleepaway Camp, then,
Whatever that means.
No, I gave him the finger.
Oh,
they haven't
you?
seen Sleepaway
I
Camp.
thought you were like this.
Or
like,
that.
Money.
Give me the money.
Give me the money, shithead. But yeah, after it shows them leaving the house, they get on the bus for Sleepaway Camp. And then it opens up, shows all the little kids getting off the bus, and you get to see our first victim, Artie, talking
Well,
about
technically,
the
it wasn't the
kids.
first victim because the dad got his face rammed by the boat, you know? Did a little jump action.
True, yeah, that was a good kill.
But yeah, technically the first victim at the camp. You got Artie, who's a personal favorite of ours.
Yeah. Talks about, the fresh young chicken getting off of the bus and all that good stuff.
Yeah, he's sitting there, him and the other cooks are watching the little kids run by, and he's like, back where I come from, we call those baldies.
Hey, so look at all that young, fresh chicken. Where I come from, we call them baldies. Makes your mouth water, don't it?
And those other guys are like, no.
He's like, they're not too young, you're just too old.
Pretty weird scene there. Kind of makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. It gets even worse when they go into the kitchen pantry or whatever, and he's like talking to Angela.
Yeah.
And he's like taking his belt off.
Cornering her in the pantry there.
And then her cousin comes in and kind of saves her.
Yeah.
And then it goes into his death.
Yeah. Which is really long after we
He's
watch
like,
it again.
no!
He's hanging over. He's fixing this pot of like corn or something like that, isn't it? It's like a big boiling pot of water. I don't really know what it is, but and you just see somebody come in. You know how the '80s slasher movies go. You don't even really see. You maybe see an arm or like some feet or something.
You hardly
like
ever
that.
see the killer.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to give you the killer out of the way, but he's standing on a ladder and somebody starts shaking the ladder and he's like, what the hell, quit. And he's like,
That's a really long scene too. He's like, hey, wait,
Yeah.
get me down from here.
he's like, quit playing, man, quit playing.
Quit playing.
But and then you see, I guess they just kicked the ladder out and under him or something
Well,
like
it
that.
shows two hands, and they actually look really manly, don't they? And it shows
Yeah.
him like flip the little stool over.
Yeah,
he
he-
pulls it down
Yeah,
over
he
top
grabs
of
the
it.
pot of water and it sizzles and he's like, ah! You see his hands for like 5 minutes. But then paramedics come and take him out and you see him all bubbled up and stuff. That was a cool death.
So for some reason, that reminds me of when Ernest Goes to Camp. You know those two guys that are always in his movies?
Yeah, the two cooks.
Yeah,
and
that
that's
always
the
reminds me of
yeah,
that scene.
kinda me
Does.
too.
I don't know why.
Maybe it's just because it's 80s summer camp and cooks or something.
Totally. So from there, where does it go?
Well, from there, just some more typical camp stuff goes on, and you start to think like Angela is really shy and quiet, but then Ricky's like real attitude and real mean. You start to kind of think that, like the summer camp owner starts to think that maybe it was Ricky. Well, not right off the bat, but like another death
Eventually,
happens
yeah.
because these kids are throwing water balloons off of a roof. I think that's on this one, and it hits Angela in the face, and then Ricky's like, "You bastards!"
Fucking bastards are gonna pay for this! Cocksuckers! Pricks!
He
He's
gets
like-
really pissed about
He's
it.
like cussing them out, and then the next thing you know, the guy that threw the water balloons taking a dump. This is kill number 2, I guess.
Or
Well, 3, if you count the dad.
is that one before the drowning one? I thought the drowning one
Yeah,
was
the drowning
first.
one could be before that. Okay, yeah. There's a kid with the mullet that gets drowned because he's out there picking on Angela, and he's in a canoe in a boat.
There's some kids out there skinny dipping or something. Or...
Yeah, and he flips the boat. Remember that? And then somebody comes up out of the water, and you just see the back of their head, and they drown him. He looks like that kid from Camp Onawana. Remember that show? That's what it always reminded me of.
Camp Onawana.
But he drowns, and then they're starting to think, oh, maybe it's not an accident. And it's like a snake comes out of his mouth. when
It
he
shows
washes
like
up.
his dead body.
Yeah. And then the death where the kid's taking a dump happens, where somebody takes a knife and actually looks like that right there knife, and stabs through the
It's like Scream
yeah.
on the back.
And then they throw like a bee's nest in there on him while he's pooping.
They take this broom handle and like lock the door to where that nobody can get out.
Yeah, imagine trying to explain that to his parents. Be like, he died pooping
That'd be really bad.
by bees.
It's got a really cool shot of, when he's dead, he's
Yeah.
laying on the ground and the bees are all covering his face.
And we were trying to watch it to figure out if it was a dummy or like a real person had that many bees on their face, but we think it was a dummy.
Yeah, definitely. The wig looks,
Looks pretty crappy.
yeah.
But then they keep thinking it's Ricky. It's like signs are leading towards Ricky. Blah blah blah. And there's Judy that we mentioned earlier.
Judy.
Little black-haired girl. She's kind of like picking on Angela and whatnot, and she meets her demise from a curling iron. We don't really know what.
Snatch, maybe. We don't know for sure.
You see like an outline of it or something like that, and she's laying in the bed, I always thought maybe she had it in the pooper or something like that.
Maybe she got both, how they...
Maybe she got it inside of her, and she pushed the thing down and opened it. That would... But, and Angela also develops a little crush there on this other kid that's Ricky's friend, little blonde-haired guy. I can't remember his name right offhand.
I can't either.
But then, stuff happens and a cop comes because I don't know if he's there investigating. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen this, but the cop has a really fake mustache.
It's like, yeah.
You can tell that it's just
it's really bad.
A prosthetic mustache. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I guess that, maybe.
Prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
Prosthetic mustache. No.
They make those.
Either way.
I'm buying one.
Getting one of those today.
But some stuff happens and they run out to the beach where they find Angela, who was really the killer. Oh yeah, I forgot about Meg's death in the shower.
Oh yeah. She like stabs her through the back of the shower or something.
Yeah, there's this girl named Meg, and she's having sex with the camp or the camp headmaster or whatever, and she gets stabbed in the back, like in the shower, and it like drags down or whatever, and then the camp owner comes out there and beats the crap out of Ricky, like he's like
shaking him,
like doing the monkey thing on him, where he's like beating him to death, and then the cops go over there and they find out that it wasn't Ricky, and they run down to the beach and they see
Angela.
Yeah, Angela.
But before that happens, it kind of cuts back and tells more of the story with Aunt Martha.
Well, it's happening, like right as that.
Yeah, they're like flipping back and forth, kind of doing flashbacks, and it just kind of talks about how it shows the little guy, Peter. Is that his name?
Could be Peter.
I can't remember. But anyway, the boy from the beginning of the boating accident, it shows him.
Oh yeah, he's a little boy, Peter. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the boyfriend.
No, it's got him like with his head all wrapped up, so you can tell he's been in an accident. And then it shows the Aunt Martha talking to him about how her husband left, and
she always wanted a.
She always has one boy. She already has one boy, so Ricky, she needs a little girl.
A little girl would be so much nicer, don't you think so, Angela? Angela. Such a lovely name. Why, I believe it means angel. Why, yes, I'm sure it does. I know you're going to like that name. Won't you, Peter?
And then it cuts back to the beach, and Angela's down there naked, rocking back and forth, and
like,
it pans around her, and you realize she's holding the boy that she had a crush on his head. She cut his fucking head off.
That scares the shit out of me.
Oh, my thing over there. But she's holding his head, and she stands up and does the scariest.
She's like, ah. She's like, ah. Mouth's real wide open, which is.
And then it pans down, and Angela has a penis.
God, she's a boy.
It's like, oh my God, it's a boy.
And that's like one of the most messed up endings.
It's like
probably
shocker.
Ever.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
It's probably like, for the 80s, I bet people was just sitting there watching that and they was like, oh my God. Because I know I was when I first seen it. Like, I know I'd watched the second, third Sleepaway Camp movies because I kind of knew, but I didn't know it was going to show
the junk.
The penis, which was like an 18-year-old boy's body. With,
they just had her face on there.
Yeah, I guess they had to audition for a guy with a small penis or something. And,
it is itty bitty. Maybe he's Chinese or something. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But I just kind of like to find out, with Felissa Rose, is that her name?
Yep.
I'd just like to see if she still has that down there,
Like penis?
Yeah, like nowadays. Maybe it's grown some or something like that.
Maybe she has like a strap on and she just relives that movie every now and then.
That'd be weird if she was married to her and she, had that going on. I'd like to find out. If anybody knows about that, let me know. But Yeah, that's about the Sleepaway Camp in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Got this awesome artwork here. Ruined somebody's Adidas. They're never going to be able to wear those again. I mean, shit. Stabbed right through it. But that's about it for this review. Kind of long. I don't really know how long this is.
Might have to cut this down a little bit because
Yeah.
we're going to try to show some clips in between.
Yeah.
So leave us some more requests on what you want to do. I guess Jack's Cinema Bros.
Yeah, Cinema Bro Supreme. Jack's Meister. This was a
He requested
request for
this.
him, and we appreciate that, dude. We like all the feedback, and we also watched your troll video, and that was really
That's
cool.
pretty cool with the green popcorn.
Yeah, we like that. That was a cool video. Do more of those. But any other guys? I mean, if you have any other requests, let us know. We'd be more than happy to do it. Do it to it.
Do it.
That's about it. We give Sleepaway Camp how many brains? I'm gonna go out on a limb, say maybe 8.5 brains out of 10.
Definitely for the 80s because it's just a classic.
Definitely.
So
Great 80s slasher.
totally.
If you're a fan of old school slashers, check it out.